listening to Her Profit Era, the podcast for founders who want a business that actually works. A business that's profitable, predictable, and pays them well. I'm Cindy Kumar, a CPA, a fractional CFO from Abbotsford, BC, Canada. I'm the person founders call when they're tired of high revenue months with no money left over. I started this podcast because too many founders were chasing sales while their margins, cash flow, and bank accounts told a completely different story. I believe profit and money in the bank is a standard, not a bonus, and that every founder deserves clarity around their numbers. Each week, you'll get real financial strategy you can actually use and honest conversations with founders and industry experts about what it really takes to build a business that lasts. Failing to plan is planning to fail. I'm sure you've heard this quote. It's been attributed to Benjamin Franklin. Whether he actually said it or not, the idea holds up, especially when it comes to money and finances. Most people don't miss their financial goals because they're lazy or bad with money. They miss them because they never slow down long enough to make the goals real. We all say we want more money, but when it comes to actually managing that money, looking at our bank account, looking at the money, we don't want to do it. People say things like, I want to make more, I want to save, or I want to feel less stressed. But there's no structure and they don't want to do anything about it. So in this episode, I want to walk you through how to actually plan your 2026 financial goals in a way that feels realistic, grounded, and doable, not in a spreadsheet math kind of way, but with real practical tips you can apply into your life. And this is exactly how I plan my own finances and how I walk clients through as a CFO. Now, step 1, schedule weekly money dates. These money dates should be non-negotiable. If you want money to feel less stressful in both your personal and business life, you need to schedule weekly money dates. So pick a day, a time that works best for you. For me, I usually do it on Fridays. I already have it blocked in my calendar every single week. And it helps because then you can see how much money came in for the week, how much went out, how far off you are from your goals, what do you need to focus on. And for me, sometimes I'll go to happy hour, I'll go to Cactus Club, or like even Earl's, just because I find that when I did go to coffee shops, it would be hard to find a table. You're wasting so much time, and then by the time like you order food, you get your chai tea, you end up spending just as much as you would going to a restaurant. So I just make reservations ahead of time. Most restaurants are quiet during their happy hour, and it's just nice to grab a meal, plus look at the finances and just spend an hour that's fun. Other times, I'll just sit at home, I'll have like a 90s or 2000s like YouTube DJ kind of playlist playing, and I'll just have fun with it. And it just makes it cozy, especially like during the winter or when it's raining outside. I just want to sit at home and do it. But regardless of me sitting at home or going for a happy hour, I'm doing it on a weekly basis. And you only need like an hour. Or you can spend like 2-3 hours, but I would say like the hour is so key. And money dates work because they turn money into something neutral. Something you check in with regularly instead of something that you avoid until it's tax time or when you have to pay your bills. Now, step 2 is get clear on your current goals. Now, this is where most people stay vague. Oh, I want to hit $1 million. Well, that's great, but how are you actually going to hit it? How many offers do you need to sell for the year to hit 1 million? What does that look like on a monthly basis, a weekly basis? Most people don't do that. And then by the end of the year, it's like, I didn't hit my goals. Time for a New Year's resolution. And then nothing changes. So I want you to make it concrete. So let's talk about step 1 is looking at your revenue goals. So let's say you want to hit $600,000 in revenue for the year for 2026. That's great. Now let's break it down by month. That's $50,000 a month. And then if you break it down by bi-weekly, that's $25,000. If you do it by week, you need to hit about $12,500 every single week to be on track for your $600,000 goal. Now, see what I did there? And then now to hit that $50,000 month, how many offers do you need to sell? So let's say you sell a $3,000 package, you need to sell roughly 4 a week. And then on a weekly basis, you can track like how many did I sell? How many clients did I have conversations with? So that way you're actually taking actionable steps to hit that 600K goal. Because if you're just looking at 600K, I'll hit it when I hit it, or you're not really tracking things on like how many clients you're working with, how many you need to get on a monthly basis. Well, by doing that, you're actually getting clear on your goals and taking actionable steps to actually hit them. And I'm not trying to pressure you, I just want you to get more practical. So really sit down and ask yourself, what's your revenue goal for the month? And then the second part is do the same with your spending goals. So if you want to travel and be like, oh, I just want to travel for 2026. Well, that's really vague. Decide where you want to go, what you want to do there, and how much you want to spend. So for example, when I planned my August 2024 Sedona trip, in January of 2024, I was looking at Airbnbs in Sedona, what I really liked. And the one I ended up booking was $1,000 per day, but it had the best view ever of the mountains. It had a sauna, hot tub, a pool. It had like massage, everything on site, and that's where I wanted to stay. At the same time, I was looking at if I fly into Phoenix, how do I get to Sedona? Well, there's like, you could get a bus, a private car rental, and so many different ways, and I decided I wanted to rent a car. Well, then I'm looking at all the car rental places. If I wanted to rent it, how much is it going to cost me? And then I started looking at the different tours. So they have this pink Jeep tour. It takes you on top of like the Red Rocks. They have different routes, different things that it does. And then I ended up going to Starbucks, right, doing all this research, writing down how much things are going to cost me, when I want to go. And also, like, I called the pink Jeep tour place and had conversations with the people working there, asking them what's like the best tour. I've never been, just any like promotions, anything that's going on. And then based on that, I made my decision on what tour I wanted to do. And then I just kept a spreadsheet of all the costs, and then I just added it up, and then I looked at how many months until this trip I wanted to take, and then I just started putting money away on a monthly basis. And when it came time to go on that trip, everything was paid off before I even left. And that's the power of getting clear on your goals. So maybe you do want to travel, you just don't know where. Well, then just sit down and think. Like, if you plan to go to Europe, you have to have a certain budget for how much things are going to cost out there. If you're planning to, like, a weekend trip to Palm Springs, Vegas, or something like that, it's just like the cost is going to be different. But you need to keep that into consideration when you're planning these things. Same with like conferences, or like going to like resorts, or like a retreat. Those kind of things are going to cost differently. So just understanding, if you do want to go to a conference, like the minimum conference ticket's probably like $2,000. And then you have to consider like your flight. Are you going to pay for the flights? Do you have enough points? What is hotel going to cost? If you're traveling with people, can you split the cost? If maybe you're going on a bachelorette, someone's getting married, whatever it is, just have like a breakdown of what that's going to cost. You don't need to know exactly, but you need to have like a ballpark. And I use a personal spending plan, not a budget, because budgets feel restrictive and realistic. So I'll break that down into separate categories. So how much do I spend on groceries? How much do I spend on self-care, like massages, my yoga, my F45? And then I look at like my home costs, like my utilities, property taxes, car insurance, like all of those things like add up, and then just understanding when those payments go through. So in March, I have my corporate taxes, my GST, my car insurance, my CPA annual dues are due then. So really looking at like how much money do I need, so when March comes and I have all these costs I have to pay for, I'm not panicking or putting myself behind, because I've already set up those savings accounts and I put money in there like on a monthly basis. So it's all about being prepared. And it doesn't have to be about like business spending. You also want to think about future you. So step 3 is thinking about future you. So this is a step people skip because it feels so far away. But future goals need planning even more than current ones. A lot of people aren't thinking about retirement, and it's just like you see a lot of people in their 60s and 70s working in fast food like Starbucks, McDonald's, even grocery stores. And the reality is they don't want to be there in that old age, but they have no choice. If you're in Canada, your CPP and OAS is going to cover like the bare minimum. It's barely going to cover your rent, your mortgage payment, your groceries. And a lot of people are struggling in their old age because they felt like they didn't think they would live that long, or they didn't realize that they should have saved up so much more. Life happens, things happen, health issues happen, a spouse passes away, whatever it is, those things are going to happen. Or maybe you have like aging parents that you have to take care of. Like there's so many things that you think, oh, it's so far away, or it's not going to happen to me. But it does. You see people with GoFundMe pages because they didn't think of all of these things, or they didn't set their family up with like life insurance. Whatever it is, it's never too soon to start thinking about retirement, or even like estate planning, legacy planning, whatever it is. You need to start thinking about those things now. So let's say, for example, you want to sell your business one day. Well, then you should start looking at similar businesses. What did they sell for? What did they value their company at? Was it profits? Was it their client list? Like, what is it? Because you need to start implementing those tips as well. Even if it's like 10 years down the road. If you want to sell like your equipment, maybe you have a product-based business. If you want to sell your equipment, or you're like, whatever it is, you need to have a plan for that. Like, you can't just wake up one day and say, I'm going to sell my business for $10 million. Like, it doesn't work like that. But the reality was like your cash flow is a mess. It's like, and you're running your personal expenses for your business. Well, why would anyone want to buy a business when they can't rely on the numbers? Like, it doesn't make sense. So even if it's like 5 years, 10 years down the road, like you need to have systems and structure in your business if your goal is to sell and cash out. So maternity leave is another big one. If you run your own business, like you don't have mat leave from like the government, or even some businesses give their employees like maternity top up, like whatever it is, like sit down and look at like how much does having a baby actually cost? What does it look like monthly in like diapers, buying the crib, buying the car seat, like whatever it is, having a baby shower, like all those things that come with having a baby, you need to know what that's going to cost you. And also on the business side, so if you are taking mat leave, who's going to run your business while you're away taking time off? Do you have employees you can start hiring and thinking about? and saving up for that as well. And like same with hiring a team. Maybe you don't need team members now, but you want support. You actually want to grow and scale your business. Well, that's great. So ask yourself, if I need to hire another version of me, how much would I need to pay this person on a monthly basis? And then ask yourself, in how many years do I want to hire this person? And then start working backwards, reverse engineer it. And then you start saving up so that when you hire that person, you don't feel like you're losing out on money because you already planned it out. So future goals don't feel overwhelming when you start planning early and have it all figured out. Now, step 4 is track your goals during your money days. This is where planning turns into progress. So during your weekly money day, you check in. How did I do this week? So if your goal is at 600K and on a monthly basis, you're looking at, okay, for that 50K goal, did I hit the 12K in clients I wanted for this week? If you didn't, ask yourself what happened. Did you do your 5 reach outs a day? No, you didn't. Maybe it feels overwhelming and you can only do 2 reach outs a day. Then it's like you need to adjust your 50K monthly goal down to something else. But you wouldn't know that until you actually try it out. And then when it comes to saving, did you save what you actually planned to save? Did anything change? If it felt like a far stretch, it's like, okay, can I just put $20 away? You easily spend $20 on food, coffee, whatever, groceries, like random Amazon purchases. So you can easily put $20 away into a savings account. And tracking works because it keeps you connected. You don't know what's gonna work if you don't really try. And step 5 is start small and expect mistakes. Like depending on your mindset and how comfortable you feel around money, you've never done this. So obviously your nervous system is gonna try to keep you safe. You're gonna have so many blocks and so many things coming up where you're just like, I don't wanna work on this. Like, I don't wanna track my money. I don't wanna know where I'm spending it. And this is just like your nervous system trying to keep you safe. But the more you start doing this, the easier it'll become. And I always say break down your goals in 90 days. So you don't know what's gonna work until you do something consistently for 90 days. And maybe you don't even want to focus on like the long-term goals. Maybe you're just not there yet. Well, that's fine. Then focus on this year's spending, like the vacation, where do you want to go, how much you want to save. Your revenue goals are really important as well. And then maybe once you get comfortable doing that, that's when you start going into your future goals. Maybe in Q2 and Q3, you're like, okay, like I feel more comfortable doing this now. So I can start looking at my future goals, like retirement, investing, whatever it is, you can start focusing on that then, because you don't need to do everything all at once. I know in January, it's like the start of a new year. We need to get super excited and focused. We want to do everything all at once. But the goal is to start small so you can be consistent at it. You're not trying to add so many things all at once. This is just examples of things you need to focus on. And it's normal to mess up, but the thing is to keep going. So depending on your mindset and where you're at financially, this process is going to feel overwhelming and you're going to have resistance. So failing to plan is really planning to fail when it comes to finances or anything in your life really. And it's not because you're bad with finances, it's because your money needs a direction, and it's unfortunate that society has programmed us who like avoid our finances. We've never been taught this in school, or maybe like we never had conversations in our household around money. Whatever it is, it's not too late to change your relationship and be able to build a healthier relationship with money. And if you start now, future you will thank you for it. And in the next episode, I'll break down personal spending plans and why they matter more than most people realize. I also want to share I'm hosting a money magnetism workshop with Raminder Hair. It's going to be on Saturday, February 21st, 2026 from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Sandman Signature in Langley, BC. So if you're in the Lower Mainland, please come out. I'd love to support you with your finances. Raminder will be focusing on the mindset, nervous system regulation, and then I'll be focusing on structure and things you can implement into your finances so you don't feel like you've been doing the affirmations, you've been doing all the manifesting, but it's not really working. It's not working because your nervous system doesn't feel safe around it. So we're going to go over ways to break those nervous system kind of habits. There will be food and snacks, raffle prizes, vision board exercise. The details are in the show notes. You can also send me a DM at It's Cindy Kumar if you'd like more information, and I can answer any questions you have. If you're a founder who wants real strategy, not noise, and you want someone in your corner helping you build a business that feels aligned, is profitable, and actually supports your life, you can apply for CFO on Call. This is my one-on-one financial partnership for established founders, typically making between $500K to $2 million, who want clarity, who want structure and confidence with their numbers. The link is in the show notes so you can schedule a profit strategy call, or you can DM me CFO on Instagram at It's Cindy Kumar, and I'll send over all the details.